Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Spice and Wolf episode number 21 reaction. So the previous episode, it was the beginning of a new arc, and in this arc we get to see Lawrence and Hollow. They are journeying towards that location. I forgot all the names of the locations. But the place that they need to go to find Yoitsu, the hometown, that is like their location final goal now. But before that we have to go through a few other detours, because we have to go to a certain place where we are supposed to meet someone who will tell us about another place where we're going to go there, and then find out that final place and then go to Yoitsu. It's like a whole like a complicated process. So the first location here, again I forgot the name, is this little town where we went to, where apparently we are supposed to meet a priest who's going to tell us like the location of another place. But turns out the priest has passed away, and we met another girl on his stead. And the people in this village looks a bit suspicious whenever they're like Lawrence is asking anything about the location. They're kind of trying to steer the conversation in a different direction. So, like stuff like that is going on. So yeah, also we got to see like another a kid, and that girl that we saw in the church. Both of them are going out together, as far as we could understand by the end of it. So that's also another thing that's going on. I think like that will be like the center theme of this arc or something like that. So let's see what happens in this episode 21. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Oh my god, she's getting drunk again. Right, people are being awfully friendly suddenly. Like, in the morning, everyone was like, immoral. Damn. Garlic fried mutton. Damn. Wow. That's right. Coast west of here. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Oh, I thought it went underwater. That's what she's saying. She's gonna chug it immediately. Ah. Hmm. Damn. People are getting a bit too overexcited here. It's a tavern. What else do you expect? Hmm. Yeah. I got permission for. Ah, okay. Damn, she has a whole legend on her name. Wait, I was gonna say, yeah, like you're drinking it now. Hmm. Right. Oh no, no. Yeah, that is a complicated topic, I think, in here. True. Yeah. God? Wait. Like like Hollow? Oh my god. Yeah. Then Snake. Oh, that's why there was a snake. Wait, I've heard a legend. What legend was that? The creature that eats sun? Jormungand or something like that? Oh. Hmm. Entrance to the right. Oh. Down. Hmm. Oh. Right. Okay. Oh, they do have a church, so punitive taxes. Okay. Yeah, because he passed away. Unrealistic. Hmm. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, they like go like travelers go to different places, so people. Hmm. Oh my god, Hollow's drunk. He paid for everyone's drinks. Right. Hmm. Interesting. So, what was his name? Toroyo? The snake god? Yeah. Wait, I like I said, I think I've heard a legend like this before in some. Which legend was it? Like a snake eating the sun or something? Was it like? I'm kind of getting confused. Was it like Yamato no Orochi or was it Yomungan? It's either of it. I'm kind of getting confused. I'll check it out if I remember though. After this episode ends, if I remember it, I'll check it. Um, like I'm pretty sure it's one of them. It was either Yamato no Orochi or Yormungand. Something like that, or maybe it's something else. I don't know. I'll need to check. Hmm. Sure. Oh wow. Yeah, don't throw up. Well, yeah. Oh, what is that? Apple? Wait, what? Is she shed? Oh, it's pom- it's pomegranate. Uh, why is she eating it like that? That's fine. I guess it works. Whoa, that is pomegranate, isn't it? Or did I see wrong? Wow, that is true. Yeah, like, oh, I thought, okay. Pomegranate. Hmm, true. Maybe because of this god that they're talking about, something. Mm-hmm. Hmm. How the spirit. Right. Ah, okay. I see. Oh. Oh, wow. Calming a storm. Oh, well, obviously. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Oh. Right. Hmm. Yeah, I guess. No, but no, you cannot. Because this place is a bit, as soon as they heard about like wolves, and they were like, oh, like, don't talk about them, stuff like that. It's a bit. Hmm. All right, people look friendly now. Right. Yep. There you go. People have this whole like, oh, he'll steal the right. Hmm. I guess that makes sense. Well, because they have this preconceived notion of. Ah. Hmm. Right. I see. Okay, that makes sense. Hmm. Give up? Oh. Equal. Any taxes? Yeah. Yeah, it's like more beneficial. Yeah, that's we heard that before. Oh my god. Really? Because of that. Yeah. Yeah, Father France. Well, it makes sense because he came suddenly in, and like then everything became. Hmm. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Wild Mount. Oh wow. Yeah. Oh. Well. Yeah, it has its ups and downs. Yeah. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Actually, the. Oh. Okay. Skeleton stories about pagan gods. Right. Yeah. Yeah, but still, it's yeah. That's why they're like, oh, so he did something about that. Hmm. Right. Contract. Oh. Oh. Listen. I see. That's why she suddenly became a lot more right. Hmm. He's like, yeah. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. He's talking about the pomegranate. Yeah. Right. Like she wants to know, but at the same time, like she says, she doesn't want Lawrence to get into trouble because he's a human. Okay. Hmm. Wow. Yeah. All right. Leave it to me. Okay. Well, obviously, what she said will be revealed, I'm guessing, in the upcoming episodes. So, right. Hmm. Hmm. And that was today's episode. Okay, today's episode was we're getting to know a little bit more about this place and like a little bit more about what's going on, their connection with that other town. I think that was called Enber or something like that. And all that stuff. Okay, before I talk about this episode, first and foremost, I need to check what is the legend of that snake that ate the sun as a whole, which I think it has something to do with Norse mythology, yeah, as far as I can remember. Oh no, wait, was it snake or was it something else? There was something in, I think, Norse mythology that ate the sun or like ate the moon or something. Was it like, I think it was like wolves, or was it, you know what, let me check. Hmm. Something like that, like I cannot really remember. Oh, yep, it's the wolves. It's not a snake. Never mind. Right. So it was um, soul and money. Yeah. When the two wolves caught up with the sun and moon, they would swallow them, and all the stars would disappear from the sky. Um, right. Okay. Who's the sun and the moon? There are two versions of it. One of it is Fenrir, and another is Kol and Hati. Okay. Yeah. 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 Because right. So I didn't really know about this, like this whole thing, until quite a while ago. I, like I played like the game, the God of War game, and they kind of like like go deeper into the Norse mythology over there, so I kind of got to know a few things about Norse mythology there, so it kind of stuck with in my head, and I kind of remembered, but I forgot. I thought it was like the snake, like but then I now I'm realizing it was not a snake, it was the wolves, yeah. But anyways, obviously that is completely different. It's something just I found similar, like eating the sun. Um, I'm not really sure if there's something in in Japanese, like mythology about someone eating the sun. I'm not really sure if there's an equivalent to that. But I do remember this from Norse mythology, and that was it. That's why I was like, oh, this sounds kind of familiar. Right. Anyways, yeah. Okay. So that was that. Um, Now, okay, let me talk about this episode. So, like I was saying, a few things to talk about in today's episode. First and foremost, Lawrence gets more, I guess you could say, acquainted with everyone, and like everyone is now a lot more friendlier. But we still get that whole weird feeling about this place. Now, what that weird feeling is that the situation about this whole village. So basically, they had a very bad relation with Enber. I think that was the name, because they decided, like like they were like worshipping this snake god, and Enber, like the church came in and they decided to like take control of this place, and like all those like stuff was happening, but then like these people resisted, and they let them alone, but they decided to like tax them heavily, and that's why the relationship was extremely sour. But then came in Father Franz, and he came in as the priest in this church, and he did a lot of good things here by trying to negotiate with the other, like like the town Enber, and they came up with a like an agreement that, oh, basically like you don't have to like tax, don't tax them. In return, they're going to give you wheat, no, not wheat, sorry, what's the name, flour, like the whole, like flour, as they were saying, everything in Tero, the flowers will be made here, and they're going to give it to them, you know they're going to give it to them without any tax. I think that's what they mentioned. Also, they would give everything but flour, because obviously they're buying flour for them, so it kind of defeats the point if they give them flour. So everything except flour, they're going to sell it to them, again without any tax. And like that whole thing. Now, that was the negotiation. I'm very curious how Father Franz was able to make them accept this this negotiation. Like this, this agreement seems way more beneficial to the people here than them, isn't it? Like they're literally getting, like, obviously, yeah, they will have to give flour to them, but everything besides flour, they're getting them without any taxes. Isn't that crazy? Maybe the people in Enver are too much like dependent on flour? Is that why? Maybe that's why, only just because we're giving them that without any tax, they're ready to give us everything except that. Maybe that's what's going on. Also, the fact that they literally, like, like, for, like, decided not to, like, put that heavy tax on them. So that's why I think, that's why Lawrence said that it seems like extremely beneficial if to people here. How the hell, like, I think even Lawrence was said, how the hell did the father, like, make them accept this? It's like, because like I said, it seems extremely beneficial to them, like people here in this place. So, right, anyways, whatever. But the point is, he was able to do that, which obviously made people appreciate him. But at the same time, people have this like, like, what can I say, like, this this whole, I guess you could say, hesitance in, like, interacting with people from the church. That is why it was like a complicated relationship with Father Franz. People obviously appreciated him, but at the same time, since he was from the church, they were kind of, like, probably keeping a distance from her. But they did appreciate him, you know. And that is why the relationship, after, like, after Father Franz passed away, now that the girl is, like, in charge here, and the girl. Oh, so also another thing happened after Father Franz passed away. They decided to kind of make that agreement null and void, and tried to I guess gain control over this place, which obviously people didn't appreciate it. And that is why that girl was very, I guess you could say, like, over agitated when she talked to Lawrence and Hollow back then, because at that time she still didn't get that letter. So she was still, like, in her head she was already probably having thoughts about all of that going on. And then Lawrence comes in and she gets, like, overly I guess you could say defensive about the whole situation. That's why she acted like that. And then when later Lawrence goes to the village chief's house, that is when the letter comes in, and after that, after reading that letter, and like she was probably like, oh, okay, nice. And then her mood became happy because everything was, like, okay, you know what, I'm going to read this section. Lawrence completely deduces this part. All right, here we go. I spoke to Evan a little while ago. Okay, what did the boy say? The village has an unequal contract with Enber. There you go. That's why the villagers can leave so leisurely. True? Because, as you can see, Lawrence mentioned this before, they just chill. Like, like, usually as Lawrence says, people are like, especially when they're getting taxed like this, they get up, try to do their thing, like, like, go to work, and, like, like, work hard. And but and here people are just, just chill. Like, even in the morning, they're just roaming around, like, just laughing around. So, they're extremely, like, okay with everything. So that is why he's like, Lawrence is like, it's a bit weird. But now, after he knows the reason, he's like, that makes sense why they're taking everything in such a leisurely pace. So Father Franz was the one who negotiated that contract. Then we have to think about why the relationship with this village and Enber church is so bad. Enber was trying to end the contract, there you go, with the death of Father Franz. So yeah, the village worships a pagan god. So if Enber can claim the village as a pagan village, they can use the force to attack this village. Yep. So obviously that is why Elsa was so concerned about this whole thing, and that is why we caught her at a wrong time. She was probably, like, waiting for that letter, and she was probably very agitated, overly agitated. However, Elsa and the others tried to think of a way to resist. Notice came to the village hazard's house yesterday. I'm sure a larger church or a noble has agreed to support Elsa as the church's successor. There you go. This was probably on pins and needles until now. Finally got some room to breathe. However, I don't imagine Enber will give up. Yeah, so that is the whole situation, basically. So that's why I'm saying I'm very curious what Father Franz did, because it seems like he's like a, I don't know, he's like a, like, he came in, negotiated such a great deal, and as soon as he passes away, Ember is like, oh, let's get so he must have had something up his sleeve, some kind of, I don't know what, maybe some kind of a like like a trick or some kind of a something which helped him negotiate this crazy deal, because still this deal seems extremely like over, like what can I say, it seems extremely one-sided. I feel like Ember, if their main goal was to exploit this place, they could have easily done it. But the fact that they're just like they just listened to the negotiation, they were like, oh, fine, so there you go, and all the conditions that were were written in the contract, I'm assuming, whatever agreement they came to, was so much better for people here than Enver. All that these people need to do is the whole flower thing they give them without any tax, and that's it. They will give us everything else without taxes, which is a huge deal. Number one. Number two, that extra tax that they were going to get put on them, they're not going to do that. So that's why I feel like this, whatever Father Franz did, he probably had something up his sleeve. That is why he was able to pull this off. And that is exactly why, as soon as he passed away, everyone's like, oh, now is our chance to act. Now they're trying to get, people here to, trying to attack them by establishing this place as a pagan, a place that worships this pagan gods. They'll try to attack them here. And that's what they're trying to do. So Father Franz must have had something, some kind of, I don't know, crazy thing that he used in negotiation. That is why it worked so smoothly. And as soon as he's dead now, people are trying to take this opportunity from Enver. Now, obviously, this was a problem. So Elsa and everyone else was also very, like Lawrence says, on pins and needles. But then whatever later came, and Lawrence deduces, or at least thinks or assumes, that probably it was some letter from some noble or some other church, who's very powerful, and they have decided to support Elsa. And that is why everyone's now a little bit calmer, because if an outside power is supporting them, I feel like Enver will think twice of attacking this place, because obviously attacking this place would immediately mean you are also going against this supposed person who is supporting them. So you're literally going against them as well. And now this supposed person or church, if this entity is very powerful, Enver will think twice about attacking, because attacking this place will immediately mean you're being hostile towards that particular person, church, or whatever, who's very powerful. So they'll think twice. That is why. But like Lawrence says, obviously this won't be the end of it. Enver will probably think of some other plan to somehow get them. But for now, it's all calm. For now, at least. Yeah, that's why Elsa was so overly agitated back then, and then after getting the letter, she was like, "Oh my God, thank God." Right, and that is also why Lawrence was like, "I don't think we should get more involved in this, because just think about it. If we also get branded as heretics, then that'll be another problem we're going to be facing, And that's why Lawrence was like, let's just get out of here and let us think about something else. But in the end, Hollow has a plan. I think that's what she said. So we'll see what her plan is. Usually all the Hollow's plans are really good, and it really works. So I'm assuming it'll be something like that. That is the main thing about this whole thing, whole arc, and and also the whole right. I was thinking I had a wrong idea. I thought the people here hated Elsa or something like that, or hated the church. But as we can see, it's like a weird situation. It's like a weird relationship. It's like they understand that the church, Father Franz and now Elsa is doing so much for them, but at the same time, it's like they're the church is literally their enemy. So it's they're in a weird type of situation where they're dependent on them, but at the same time they don't like them. That kind of thing. I'm assuming. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's why whenever they brought up Elsa's situation, the village chief, everyone else were like, oh yeah, that girl. Like they were like they had like a very, like a mixed reaction. Like it seemed as if they themselves don't know how to react to Elsa, because at the end of the day she is still helping them if you think about it, because like as we saw, like she probably was able to gather help from this particular, like outside church or whatever, like, so she's still trying to help them, because if she didn't do that, you know then Enbeh would have attacked. So she did, like like accomplish that. Father Franz also helped them a lot, so that is why they're thankful to them, but at the same time they're a bit confused about what to feel about it, because technically they are from the church. Something like that, I think, I'm assuming, like that's why. So yeah, that's what's going on. Now another thing I kind of thought about, Evans, that was his name, I think, the guy, the kid. Now I don't know. I thought that Evans and like the like Elsa, the villagers, like didn't want them interacting or something, or like was against this relationship or something. I'm not really sure. I thought it was something like that. Because he was literally sneaking at night. So I thought maybe like he's doing that because maybe the other people here don't appreciate it or something, don't want to see them together or whatever, but maybe not, that's not the case. It's just probably that people hate Evans because they think he's stealing stuff. And not only that, because of the whole taxes as well, of the like we got to know why that is going, why that happens. In the previous episode, Lawrence explained it to us, like why people hate Evans, because number one, they think like obviously, like the amount of flour becomes smaller, you know so people know that, but they still think that he's stealing stuff. Not only him, but every single miller, has the same reputation because of that. Even though they're probably not even doing it. And also the fact that they have to like charge high for it because of the taxes. That's why they hate them, the millers. And Evans is in a similar situation as well. So so it's probably just that. That is probably why he is sneaking around at night, because he just doesn't want to confront any other villager and get in an awkward situation, I think. You know, it's probably that. Like, I don't know. In the previous episode, I thought it was something to do with, like, maybe they don't want him interacting with Elsa, because usually that's why people sneak around at night, if something like that happens. And usually when there's like some kind of a, like like a relationship going on, it's usually that the reason is that the people don't want them interacting. That's why they're sneaking around at night. But probably not. That, I don't think that's the case. Like he just was sneaking around at night, probably because villagers don't like him, and that's why he just doesn't want to confront them or something like that. Like, it's not like a secret. Like, I was thinking it was a secret, that they were secretly meeting or something, and the villagers didn't know. Probably not. They know what's going on, and it's just like a situation which they just doesn't want to interact with, because they have a weird type of a, like a, like they don't know how to act with this whole situation, because Elsa, she's from the church, but she is helping them, so they're not really sure how to feel about that. And they hate Evans because they think he's stealing stuff and charging extra money. So because of that, Evans was probably sneaking around at night. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I think so. Yeah. Like, the main thing is, it's not a secret. The relationship is probably not a secret. Like, everyone probably knows. Okay. And yeah, and there you go. That was it. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about here. What else was here? Them talking to, like Hollow and Lawrence in the tavern, talking to the people there, and Lawrence gets to know quite a few things about everyone here. And yeah, we also meet this lady, the tavern, like owner's wife, or was, oh no, or she the owner of the tavern? I'm not really sure. Anyways, right, and oh no, she's the tavern owner, isn't she? Because they kind of told us the story about him meeting. Oh no, wait a minute. Where's that part where she introduces her husband? Just a minute. Uh, okay, I got completely drunk and fell into the arms of my now husband. Oh no, I guess she's the owner of the tavern. Yeah, because she's the one who. Yeah, okay. Right, and there you go. That was today's episode. Interesting episode. I don't know. I just after the previous episode, I thought like this whole arc will be just like the villagers being completely, I don't know, uncooperative and just like looking at them weirdly throughout this whole arc. But people look a lot chiller today. It's probably because they got to know Lawrence a bit more. Right, and yeah, but the situation is a bit complicated, because with the whole, them worshipping the pagan gods and the church, all that stuff. And also, yeah, people don't like wolves here. Like, definitely, they immediately reacted when they heard about a harvest, god, like who's a wolf. Yeah, alright, and there you go. That was today's episode. Now, let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, we get to see Hollow and Lawrence in the tavern. Hollow, as always, drinking, drinking too much. Okay, and then Lawrence is talking to the people here, and this is where we meet the lady, like the tavern, like lady. She like gives them food, and everyone's like Lawrence, do you know this, like the lady? This lady has a whole legend to her name. And they talk about how like she herself like explains it. So basically, I was born in a town along the coast west of here. Towns like that are fated to be swept up by the sea one day. Okay, now this part I thought she was talking about like the place going underwater, but Lawrence says the sea. You mean pirate? Okay, so she was talking about pirates. I guess that makes sense. I thought when she says swept away by the sea, I thought that she meant it literally, like like going underwater. But no, she's talking about pirates. I ran away in confusion and realized afterwards all I had was a brewing jug on my back and a sack of barley. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. Then they also say how the count and the men passed by to check on the efforts of the pirates, and then she had a contact with the count. So basically, this is where is that part? She says she became like the. Yeah, so the count said asked her to make beer and like gave it to them. Right. So they had like I guess you could say like a partnership. Lawrence says like you became his personal brewer. She's like, oh no, it's not that fancy. But like I just sell the beer here and the like the stuff here in his name. There we go. I got permission to go around selling beer under the count's name, which is obviously I'm pretty sure that's very beneficial for business because when you can say that like, oh, this beer has been personally approved by the count. Everyone will be like, damn, crazy. That kind of thing. It's basically an advertisement, like yeah, that kind of thing. So obviously it helped her out immensely, I'm guessing. The story of a rare beer selling woman. Okay, so she says in order to sell every drop I could, I never touched my own beer, but then I came to this village and I ended up drinking. As we can see, she's drinking with everyone. And then, like she then got married and all that stuff, there you go. So that's her story. So this is where after that Lawrence starts talking about other places where he went. He's a traveling merchant. Everyone's asking him stuff. Okay. Yeah, so then they start talking about Father France, and like I said, they have a weird type of a relationship with him because they are thankful to him, but at the same time he's from the church. So here we go. They say like we are definitely like thankful to Father France. However, no matter what happens, we cannot disobey Lord Trueo. Here is the place where we get to know about this god, the snake god. He's a god that protects our village. He grants us bountiful harvest. Town of Tereo was named after. I was wondering, I was like, the name is Tereo and then it is Tureo. Wait, what was his name? Just a minute. Tereno, was it? No, True AO. Okay, the god's name is True AO. This place's name is Tereo. Okay. Okay, so this Lawrence is like, oh, god of harvest? Is it wolf? Um, and they're like, oh, wolf? Don't be ridiculous. That's a tool of the devil. No way one would be a god. Okay, so here we go. So now, wait, that's kind of interesting. So obviously, the church looks at the people here as pagans because they are worshipping this snake god, and these people look at wolves as pagans. Like interesting, because that's what they say. Like, oh, well, like that's the devil or something like that. They say when they heard about wolves. That's very interesting because like it's like calling someone something, and they call, like, usually they don't, like, because they're in a similar situation, they wouldn't do that to someone else. But here that's kind of interesting because, like, the church, and they are branding them as heretics and pagans, and I would expect them to not do that same thing to others because they themselves are victims. But then they also call, like, the wolf, like, okay, that's quite interesting because like I said, usually the victims of a certain thing, they don't really do the same thing to others because they know what it feels to be victimized. Like to have, like, like, to someone do that to them, so they won't do that same thing to others. But I guess it's a different type of a thing here. But anyways, right. So Lord Truyo is a snake god. So I'm wondering if this Lord Turueo is someone similar to Hollow, like it's an actual, like, has like an actual, like, a physical body or something. I don't know. We'll see, maybe. So that is where Lawrence remembers, like, the snake, like, like, stuff and everything, and he's like, oh, that's why. He's so big that weather is different at the head of the tail. He divides the moon for breakfast, swallows up the sun for supper. There you go. The whole Norse mythology. Like I said, it's like this, it's like Skoll and Hati, that whole thing. Yeah. Right. You cannot compare him to others. You just can't. The cave outside the village Lord Torreo once dug to hibernate in the winter. Now, Lawrence remembers that. Old legend, anyone who enters the cave will be cursed. Father Franz got scared. Yeah, all that stuff. Okay, so here we go. Now they talk about Enber. I think, yeah. Yeah, there's a town called Enber on the way here. Okay, I see. Now it makes sense. Like, in the previous episode, they went to Enber first, didn't they? That place? Yeah. So that's why the person there, when Lawrence was like, oh, I'm going to Darrow, he was like, 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 acted in a weird way. It makes sense now. Big church have problems with generations. Guy Mendes is running it. Okay, Enber was also a town that was guarded by Lord Tudeo, but then the church came in. Here we go, and now this is going on, and now they're trying to attack us. That's why they have a weird type of a complicated relationship with Enber. Right, the church is very powerful. Here we go. Now they also say, but the original deal was that just to build a church in that village, but then they said we need to pay punitive tax for them to turn a blind eye to lottery. Now this is the part which I was talking about. I feel like this, whatever negotiation Father Franz did was crazy, because first and foremost they were like, oh, you need to pay punitive tax. That's the number one thing. Then about 30 or 40 years ago, Father Franz came to this village. Here we go. Doesn't a lady named Miss Elsa run the church now? Okay. Yeah, about that, and we stopped to yeah. Okay, it's too unrealistic. Father Franz picked up Miss Elsa over 10 years ago, but she wants to be a priest too. No way, right? Yeah, like I said, so they just have, like, they don't know how to act in front of Elsa because it's just like they do know she's helping them out, but at the same time they're just like, okay. So like I said, so that's why I said Father Franz did something crazy. Like, first and foremost, the whole punitive tax was able to like completely just like erase that and be like, oh, don't do that. That's number one. Number two, the whole deal with we're going to give you flour without any tax. You're going to give us everything else without tax. It's like a very sweet deal, isn't it? If you think about it. Um, so what did he do? I'm very curious. Also, the fact that as soon as he passed away, Enver was like, "Oh, now is our chance. Let's do it." Like they're trying to attack us and everything. So something he must have had some kind of something up his sleeve, which was probably making Enver not do anything to them. Was probably making them scared to do anything, and they just accepted this, like negotiation. Otherwise, I don't know. Like, why would this? As soon as he passed away, they decided to attack us. Like, he must have had some kind of like like something, some kind of trump card. um okay, so now they ask him about like, oh, you're a traveling merchant, aren't you? The lady sees that, the tavern lady, she sees that, and she's like, what the hell are these guys doing? Okay, so they're like, oh, okay, now I understand. They were asking Lawrence about if you know anyone powerful from the church. That's why they were asking him, because like they need the backup, as much as backup they can get. Like, obviously, I'm assuming Elsa, like like in the previous day, we already like they got that letter, and Elsa probably was able to find some kind of backing from someone, you know. But these people are still trying to find more backup. Like the more people you have behind you, the more good it is. That's why they're asking Lawrence. They're like, oh, you have someone like powerful, about, like so that he can get their help. And obviously the lady was not happy. The lady was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, these are traveling merchants. You're just, like bothering him at this point. They're like, oh, sorry, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. Yeah. And the lady was like, like what we expect from traveling, like, like merchants is like, come to this place, have a good time. And if they like it, go to the next town and talk about us. Like basically that. So don't try to involve him into our personal situation, like basically that. Anyways, then they leave the tavern. Lawrence pays for everyone's like beer, and everyone's like, damn, like yay. Right, then like he takes Hollow away and puts her to sleep. Or she was already drunk and asleep, so just put him on her on the bed. Yeah. Oh, they also get, I think, what was that? Was that pomegranate? I think so. So, okay, in the morning, Lawrence gets up and sees that. Wait, Lawrence was sneezing, wasn't he? Wait a minute. Oh, it's probably because Hollow. No, it was cold, obviously. I'm guessing Hollow like was her tail like was she like fur shedding or something? You can see her tail is like all scruffy because she didn't like the taste. Maybe that's what happened. Either it was cold, it was probably cold. That's why Lawrence just woke up then. Anyways, so yeah, it's pomegranate. Wait a minute. And pomegranate pomegranate aren't sour? They aren't sour. I've eaten a lot of pomegranates in my life. I've never found them sour. Or was it like some different kind of? Okay, the innkeeper's wife gave them to us. They were good for hangovers. The sourness of this. Okay, I'm very confused here. Is that, wait a minute? Are they even called pomegranates, or am I making a mistake? Let me check. Pomegranate. Yeah. Wait. So what are? Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah. They are pomegranates. So are they sour? I don't know. Maybe here in my place, like they aren't sour. Maybe they're actually sour because I've eaten a lot of pomegranates in my life. They're not sour. They aren't even sweet. I guess it's like a peculiar taste. Like, it's a nice taste. That's I guess you can say they're sour. I guess if you like make juice out of it, if you drink the juice, yeah, it is kind of, it has a tangy taste to it, I guess. But it's not that sour that you have to like like Lauren Hollow was like freaking out over here. I guess she probably expected it to be sweet as an apple or something, and that's what she got. I don't know. And also, wait a minute, she was eating the whole thing like this. Maybe that's why she was literally eating the outer, like the thing as well. So I don't know, but anyways, I don't think I've ever thought pomegranates as being sour. Like I've eaten a lot of them, um, but it's probably because she like was just chomping on it like that. Like yeah, right. So there you go. That's that. And then Lawrence gets up and they're like, and Hollow's like, oh, like, like, let me just go back to sleep, like, I'm hungry, bring me some food. And Lawrence is like, oh, am I the good one who's going to be doing these things? And, and Hollow's like, oh, I'm not going there because, otherwise you will be in trouble here. You'd fall into, like, troublesome situation if I go around. Because, which is true, I guess, like, people here don't like wolves. And, even though she's hiding everything, like, if Hollow's outside, and even if like Hollow knows how to take care of herself, that's not the problem. The problem here is that Lawrence will probably not be, I guess you could say, like he'll probably just think about this, like be very concerned about her throughout the whole day, knowing that she's outside and just thinking of whether she got into trouble or something. Like Hollow would probably be able to like protect her identity and everything. That's not a problem. But the problem is that Lawrence will probably be too distracted to do his own thing if Hollow goes around roaming around the town, because Lawrence will be concerned if something happens. Just in case scenario, if something happens, he'll be concerned about that. That is why I'm guessing Hollow was like, I'm just going to stay here. Like to make it a lot more easier for you. So yeah, so this is where Lawrence is like, I need to get to the bottom of this, because he sees like like Evans come out, and and like like Elsa was a lot happier now. So he's like, I need to go and talk to Evans, because like it's weird. This place is like this place is just so chill about everything, but they're supposed to be heavily taxed and everything, and with everything that's going on, there must be something happening. So I need to get to the bottom of this. So this is also where Lawrence talks about miracles, as to what church like says what are miracles. Basically something that where you go, where is it, okay, I'm just going to read this part. Let me tell you the miracles that the church preaches about. Right, so here we go. Miracle, the word miracle is very special to the church. Miracle is when a God uses the power of the Spirit to create an event that is beyond human capability. Yeah, makes sense. And people, the churches recognize the person that has brought about a miracle, and the person becomes a saint, praised by the people. Right. Must the church recognize a miracle each time? It's the job of the church to judge without it was truly a miracle and not a trick of the devil. That is why the church is important here. So what miracles has the church actually recognized? So calming a storm, instantly healing the sick, and turning water into wine. Hollow's like, wait, what? Water into wine? Right. Yeah, most of the miracles from church has some kind of trick to it. We can compare them to someone like you. Yeah, and this is where he finds Evans, and he's like, I need to go and talk to him. Right. So then Lawrence goes out. He has the wheat and everything there, and people are like, oh, what are you doing? And Lawrence is like, oh, I'm just going to to the mill, like to get some wheat ground into flour. And they're like, oh, you're going to the miller? And they're like, oh, like, that guy, be careful of him. He's a thief. Lance is like, bruh. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, so he goes there, and Evans is like, oh, hello, like he's very excited, obviously, seeing Lawrence. And he's like, all right, I'm going to ground this wheat for you. And how much did he ask for? 3 lute. Okay. So Lawrence is like, damn, it's kind of cheap. And he's like, wait, cheap? Usually people complain about it being expensive. Which, makes sense. And he's like, it depends. I'd go to different towns. Now, this is another thing I feel like is very important. Like Lawrence says, he goes to different towns, and different towns have different rates. There's definitely more towns where the rates are higher than this. So Lawrence can appreciate a good price. However, people here, they are just accustomed to the price here. So that's why they nitpick about things. which I feel like it's like literally the same about everything. The more knowledge you have about like something, the more you will be, I guess you could say, considerate about something, and the more you will be like willing to like think about a situation and willing to like compromise and understand. You know, the lesser the knowledge you have, the more that you are a frog in the well, the more you nitpick about things and be like, oh, this is not good, this is not. That's why like the more experience you have, the more you know the outside world, the more you'll be appreciative about things, because you'll understand how bad other people have. Like obviously there's people who have it way better than you, but there's loads of people who have way worse than you. You know, so when you get to know that, you'll be able to appreciate the little things in life. And that is why, you know, Lawrence, being a traveler, he goes to different places and he's gone through a lot of different experiences. That's why he can appreciate something like this, while people here, they just stuck to this town and they just like judge everything by by the norms of this place, and that's why they nitpick about things, you know, and act like this. You know, knowledge is important, basically knowledge and experience to be a better person. Right, it makes you a lot more, I guess you could say, broad-minded. Right. Anyways, he talks about he was, you know, he did his work as a substitute tax collector and how it was difficult, and Evans is like, I get you, you know, like, because obviously he's in a similar situation as well. Okay, so this is where Evans was like, wait, are you trying to do you know, like business with wheat and flour? And he's like, depends. And he's like, oh, then you should give up on that idea, because you know, because the grains here all have to be sold to Enver. So there you go. This is where we get to know the whole agreement. So here we go. Does this mean Enver owns this land here? And he says like, we're equals with Enver. I feel like they have it way better than Enver in this situation, at least, because what they're getting off of Enver because of that treaty or whatever, that agreement that Father Franz did, is crazy. You know, they buy our grains. Here we go. And we buy everything except grains for them. Just think about it. They're only getting grains, and we're getting everything else except grains, obviously, because we're selling grains to them without tax. That is crazy. Without tax, I think that's what it says. On top of that, we don't have to pay any taxes when... Oh no, never mind. Okay, only alcohol and clothes. Still, it's a very sweet deal for them, you know. Yeah. Wait, just a minute. Are they asking taxes for... Wait a minute. Let me check. Let me go back again. Are they getting... Okay, we're equals with Enver. They buy our grains and we buy everything except grains for them. Oh, so they are paying taxes. They are paying taxes. Here, the Tereos people, they are also paying taxes, obviously, but they are exempt from taxes for alcohol and clothes. Interesting. So yeah, they have it better than them, doesn't they? Like, they don't have to pay taxes for two things, while they are paying taxes to us. Right. Pretty impressive, right? And he's like, yeah, it's amazing if it's true. That's more than equal standing. There you go. That's what Lawrence says. Like, yeah, because they have it better. And also they're not, you know, levying, like they're not getting the punitive taxes. That thing is also, like, you know, cancelled because of this agreement that Father Franz did. It's normally impossible to have such favorable terms with a town that big. That is also very true, because, you know, always, every place, the bigger the person or something is, the more power they'll have, and they'll bully other things, you know. So usually in these type of situations, like bigger towns, bigger places, you know, since they have a bigger, like, you know, backing, they like do unreasonable requests to other smaller towns. We are actually these people are actually in a very good situation. They have it even better than them, you could say, because they don't have to pay taxes for two things while they're doing it normal. So, you know, right, so it's more than favorable. How in the world? And from what I heard, the village paid heavy punitive taxes to Enver, but then Father Franz came in and everything is okay now, so, you know, that's also another thing. Right. That's ancient history. There you go. Because of Father Franz. Right, so there you go. So that's the whole situation. He gets to know a little bit better about what's going on over here, and yeah. Okay, so this is where he asks about what's his name? Her name, Elsa, and he's like, oh, he's trying to hide it. He's like, oh, like no, I'm very, like I cannot stay here. It's cold here, so I go to the church, and she lets me stay there. And then he's like, oh damn, like it's crazy because she never mentioned you. And Lawrence says, oh, it's probably because I'm a man, which makes sense, obviously, because, she didn't want him to, like, get wrong ideas about it. And he's like, oh, like, he shouldn't have, like, thought about it like that. Anyways, they also talk about how Elsa is a lot happier now because back when Lawrence went, like, she acted like that. And, and he's like, oh, he, like, she became happy at the end. And now, like, it seems she's okay now. Here we go. I wonder what made her change her mood so drastically in half a day. Lawrence says, and he's like, "Why are you so interested?" And he's like, "Oh, because I have someone similar to them, similar with me." Right. Anyways, so he moves on. After that, he goes to Hollow, and he says that, "Hollow, I want you to listen. Let's stop asking about the whole, like asking for people here about the situation with Yoitsu. This place is dangerous." Now, obviously, Hollow's like, explain why. Okay, so this is where Lawrence says, as far as I've deduced, I'm guessing the abbey we're looking for is actually the village church. There you go. So that's interesting. So Lawrence says that is exactly why, if it's true, the head of the abbey was Father Franz, yeah? That means Elsa and the village head both knew that the priest was collecting stories about pagan gods. Even so, they both pretended not to know. Next, considering what people said in the tavern, church isn't respected, which we've seen. We just worship a snake god here. Yeah? Yeah, but people owe a lot about Father Franz. Yeah, that is because he did something for this village. Significant. I found out what it is when I spoke to Evans a while ago. Village has an unequal contract with Ember. Unequal contract, yeah. That's why villagers can leave so leisurely because, they have it better off. Father Franz was the one who negotiated. That's why I'm saying I feel like Father Franz did something. How could he get something, negotiate a contract like this? It's so much better for people here than, like, how can he get such a favorable outcome out of something, like, he must have had some kind of a dirt on them or something. That's why as soon as he's dead, they're trying to attack us. They're like, oh, like, let's just attack them and get this over with. But now, Elsa was able to get, like, backing from someone else, so they'll probably calm down a little bit and not try to attack them, but they'll not give up, right? Okay, we have to think about relationship of this village and churches. Why is it so bad? Enber was trying to end father's contact with the date of the Father Franz. Now this statement, Lawrence completely deduced this. Nowhere did they mention this. Lawrence deduces that Enber was trying to end the contract with the death of Father Franz. He just deduced it. I didn't think about it as well. I was also thinking, yeah, why, so, yeah, it makes sense if something like that is going on, So, this village worships a pagan god. If Enber can claim a village as a pagan village, they can use their forces to attack. There you go, that whole thing. Elsa and the others tried to find a way to resist. Notice came to the village's head, house's head yesterday. Larger church or a noble agreed to support Elsa as the church's successor. That is why, now Enber will stop, but obviously they're not going to give up. They're going to keep continuing to do it. That is why Lawrence is like, I don't want to get involved in this because, you are in a peculiar situation here. Also, if we somehow get branded as heretics, that is another problem we'll have on our shoulders. So why don't we stop here and, right. So Lawrence also deduces why Hollow wants to stay here and to learn more about this. First and foremost, she wants to know about that, where's that part? The bear or something? Wait a minute. What are you expecting hearing the tales of pagan gods? Are you looking for the bear that was said to have destroyed your hometown? Now, am I forgetting this? When did they mention a bear? I probably forgot it. Maybe they mentioned it back when, like in one of the previous episodes. Because I cannot remember anywhere. Like, I'm guessing Diana probably told this to Hollow. So a bear destroyed their hometown. They either mentioned it and I completely forgot, or I didn't pay attention and I didn't catch it. Either that, or they didn't, and it just happened. And now they're telling us that, oh, like Diana probably said that to Hollow, and Hollow's trying to find out about this bear who's apparently responsible for the destruction of her hometown. That's why she wants to know more about these pagan stories. You know. That's number one. Also, number two, Lawrence says, "Are you looking for your friends?" And Hollow's like, "What if that's the case? I may be willing to cross this dangerous bridge." And you can see obviously Lawrence doesn't say that, "Oh, stop it," or like don't do it, think about it. He says like, if that's the case, then I am willing to cross this bridge. And Hollow's like, it's fine. There's no need for you to brace yourself so grandly. I don't want you to get into trouble because of me. If I could, I would slap that girl's chick and get to know for like all that stuff. And she says like, it's just because I want to know more about you. It's like, don't you also want to know more about your hometown, the stories about your hometown? And also Hollow has not been there for a long time. She definitely wants to know more, like stories and everything. And then she says, but it will be troublesome if you had to cross that dangerous breach for my sake. You're too much of a good-natured person. So I'm sure you will accept what I say, but I don't want you to fall into danger because of me. Truly, what a frightening male. And then she talks about like, oh, like like about herself. She's like, oh, am I not sweet? And Lawrence again, Lawrence and Hollow bantering, and Hollow's like, and Lawrence is like, yeah, like, okay. So Lawrence says like, are you sure it's really okay to give up? And she says like, I do want to know more about them, but okay, so this is where Hollow says like, may I ask something of you? Yeah. So yeah, he's like, I'll take care of it. Hollow's like, okay, but I have an idea. Tells him something. I just want you to cross this dangerous bridge together with me. Right. Yeah, so she says, all I will do now is grab your hand, and as Lawrence says, a guidepost, Obviously, they don't really explain it, what she's going to do, but from what we have seen in today's episode, Hollow has a plan that he told Lawrence. Obviously, Lawrence will be the main player here. That's why she says, like, I'm going to go along with you, cross this bridge along with you. If something goes wrong, you'll have to deal with it, obviously. But, I'll be there. Also, I'm telling you the main, like, what you're supposed to do and the plan behind it. So, she's the brain, obviously, but Lawrence has to do, like most of the things. And she'll be there with him. That's basically the plan. And there you go, that is where it ended. So good episode as always. This is turning out to be a like an interesting thing about this place. And let's wait and see how this goes. And I do wonder if we'll get to see this what was his name? This snake god, Tereo or something, I forgot it. No, Tereo is the place of the name of the village. I forgot his name. But anyways, that snake god. I wonder if we're going to get to see him. And I'm expecting him to be someone like Hollow, like an actual humanoid god or something. I don't know. I'm sure he can turn into a snake, just like Hollow can turn into a wolf. But, yeah. Or maybe we'll not see him. Who knows? We'll see. Anyways, that is it. Thank you for watching, guys. This was my reaction to episode number 21 of Spice and Wolf. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Or you haven't subscribed, comment down below. Anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, I'll check them out. That is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Spice and Wolf. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.